Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's the thing. He had a career. What is up, beautiful people? Sorry, we had a little technical difficulties. That's why we're about 5 minutes late. No worries, though. We have a great show lineup. We cannot wait to get it going. As you guys do see, Matt is here. He can see and hear everything. He is actually at a food, a dinner with his work. He will come in later on, but for right now, he is there. He is listening. He sees all. He hears all. As you guys know, I am Brandon. I am your host. Matt Thomas is the other host. This is the Sportz Nutz episode 45. Really, it's technically like episode 80 because we've had like a lot of videos in between and whatnot. Guys, we are so excited about this episode. The gentleman that we have on today, he is he's a walking legend, a walking miracle, guys. And I mean it when he tells you his story, you're going to be blown away. You know, I've been told I'm a walking miracle because I survived a widowmaker. I had a 12% chance of survival. I have survived. This is going on 15 months, actually, since my widowmaker heart attack. But guys, you know, when you hear what he talks to you about, you're going to be like, it kind of gets a little emotional just because of like the incredible like challenges he's gone through and what he has accomplished. He is a good friend of ours at the Sportz Nutz. I've had the privilege of talking to him many times. But before we get to him, you know, I just wanted to quickly, guys, let you know, make sure you like our Facebook page, our Twitter. Guys, we need your help. Let's get to those 500 followers on Twitter. And when we get to that 500, we're at 170. We get those 500. If you are the 500th, you actually win a prize pack. I promise you're going to want it. And we'll go into more detail about what's in there soon. But also just want to let you know, guys, follow us on Facebook. We need you to follow on there. Share with your friends. Hey, come on. This is quality sports talk. Hey, just want to quickly also say subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Sportz Nutz 176. We hit a milestone today, 120 subscribers. But guys, remember our last episode, the short that we created, we got 2,700 views in just one video. That is what's up. That is like, keep it going, guys. We love you guys to death. Hey, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Tequila's Grill in Easley, South Carolina. Guys, if you want affordable, authentic, and delicious Mexican cuisine, Tequila's Grill is where you want to be. From Matt and mine's favorite, which everybody should know this by now, is the queso, the homemade salsa bar, the chimichangas, taquitos, the taco bar. My wife absolutely loves the fajitas. They're some of the freshest meat around. Give them a call today and get your functions set up. Guys, we're coming to holiday season. They're going to have a lot of things going on at Tequila's. Let's get it going. Give them a call, 864-307-8028. Or better yet, stop on by 5155 Calhoun Memorial Highway, Easley, South Carolina, 29640. That's Tequila's Grill in Easley. And guys, Matt is actually going to be coming up here in a couple of weeks. Cannot wait to do an episode here. We are working on some really cool things. Guys, you're going to have a lot of fun. So anyways, without further ado, this gentleman that we are about to bring on, I promise you guys, you're going to, if you listen to him talk and his stories he tells you and just like the devotion he has, oh my God, like he's phenomenal. He's a legend. And when I got the privilege to meet his wife the last game, I had to give her a hug because she's fantastic. They're great people. They are from Anderson University. Yes, that Anderson University at Anderson, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Mark Vaughn of Anderson University. Mark, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on. Uh, when you told me your story, I'm like, I'm amazed. And the resilience that you've gone through, the trials and tribulations that have been bestowed upon you, and the fact that you have overcome them, and you have been granted new life basically by God. It really is simply amazing. First off, please let everybody know what it is exactly you do at Anderson University.
Well, Brandon, I am the Associate Athletic Director for Development. I fundraise for 21 sports that we have here at Anderson. It's a joy. It's fun. It's at the D2 level, so we have to pretty much fundraise for everything at that level. So that's what I do. Love my job. Getting ready to finish up year number 8 and start year number 9 early in 2025.
Hey, and the old saying goes, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And you're a testament to it, Mark. What you told me our first time we met, I kind of got a little emotional about it because I thought I'd been through a lot, and God puts us in every situation. He knows what we can and cannot handle, and He has put you in an amazing and scary situation altogether. If you don't mind, with your blessing, sir, I would really love for you to share your story of your trials and tribulations, what you went through, and what you have overcome. If you don't mind sharing that.
Sure. Well, let me back up a little bit, even prior to where I came in with my story or my life story. I grew up as a son of a pastor. So I was raised in the church. Kind of left the church after college. I guess kind of wanting to find my own way, so to speak, and kind of walked away from my faith a little bit. But came back to it about 10, 12 years ago. And this was probably 2013. I basically reaccepted the Lord again and found my faith and started my faith walk a little bit more in earnest. But in 2015, I was working for another nonprofit at that time, and we were having a golf tournament fundraiser. And setting up for that golf tournament, I was hanging banners for sponsors and things like that, and kind of accidentally slipped off of a scaffold and fell about 12 feet, landed on the back of my neck, and walked away from that. It was quite scary because I landed right on my neck, and I knew something was wrong. Intense pain, but when I got up and staggered around, I knew I was kind of concussed, but my head basically fell off of my shoulders to the point where my chin was resting on my chest, and so I couldn't turn it. So I knew that I had a broken neck at that point. And then later on, that was confirmed. But the first doctor that saw me in the hospital, he just kind of ran me through the process, told me I had a cracked C4, put the collar on, come back in 8 weeks. I didn't really feel comfortable with that assessment, so I got a second opinion from the guys at BioSpine down in Tampa, and they're the group. They're a bunch of former battleground medics, and they handle a lot of the NFL guys. So Cliff Stout, who used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got me in down there as a second opinion. And when the doctors saw my scans down there, they looked at me and they said, "Mark, this is really even out of our pay grade." So they referred me to the spine clinic at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. And when I got to Emory, the doctor there, after looking at my spine, at my basically my scans, he came back to me and he said, Mark, what'd your doctor in Greenville tell you? And I said, well, he told me I cracked the front of my C4, put the collar on, come back in like 8 weeks, and then we'll see how you're doing. And that doctor told me at that time, he said, well, he's fired because you basically separated your head from your body. And so they got me into an MRI within 72 hours and did a 16-hour surgery, basically where they lifted my head and neck up 4 inches. I've got 4 rods, 11 clamps, and 22 screws in me that start at about the little above my neck and go about halfway down my back.
Oh my word. And like, just think about, like, everybody, I want you guys to think about this for a second. He basically is headless at this time. He's hanging on by his spinal cord, and even that, is like thin and fine, like fine lining it. And I mean, gosh, like, just think about like what's going through your mind at this time. Like, that other doctor, he told you invalid information, and he kind of told you some of the information, but it's more like he didn't really thoroughly investigate. And what was
Exactly.
going through your mind at this time when you had to go through this like egregious surgery? Like, you had to go through an amazing amount of time with surgery.
Sure. Well, it's quite funny that a lot of fear just creeps in, and about all that you have at that point is just prayer. And so I prayed deeply. When it was funny, the day of the surgery, they were actually about 28 different medics that were going to be working on me during the course of this surgery. And they all came around and they basically introduced themselves and what their role would be. I'm actually a diabetic, so I had one person just checking my blood glucose. I had another one looking at just my brain activity, every kind of scenario you can imagine. And then the lead surgeon came to me last and he said, are you scared? And I said, a little bit. And he said, well, I'm not operating on you today. And that really kind of got me scared. And then he said, he's operating on you. He's just using my hands. And when he said that, it was a tremendous amount of calm that came over me. And then we went into the surgery, and they actually, the surgery was in like one of those stadium operating rooms, because it's a teaching hospital down in Emory. And so there was a bunch of students sitting in the crowd as I got rolled in up there. So, and then it was a type surgery where they had to flip me over several times during the course of it. But yeah, came through it great. And I'm just very blessed.
July 8th, 2023 was my Widowmaker heart attack. And, I kind of can go with what you're saying on this too, because I was, I'm scared like heck, like, oh my God, this is it. Am I going to, pass away? What about my kids? What about my wife? Everything that I have known is just being taken away from me, basically. Here's the scary part too, Mark, is it took Pickens County EMS 25 minutes to get to our house. And we live about 10, 15 minutes away from where they're stationed at. And that was really hard. And if people who have never had a heart attack, I promise you, it is worse than any pain you will ever imagine, because it hurts here, every square inch of your body. It's excruciatingly painful. It's scary. You're
Yeah.
thinking, what's going to happen with me? Well, they got there and they did an EKG, and the EKG didn't show anything to like worry them. But I'm in intense, severe pain. Nothing is getting better. So they took me into the truck, and at this time, my wife is just finished cutting the grass, and she's covered in grass as it is, and she has to get changed. So we're sitting in the driveway. They do another EKG, and they found a small enough hiccup that said, all right, there's something that's happening. We need to get you to a hospital. Well, there is a hospital, gosh, I'd say maybe 10 minutes from my house. And of course, then there's Greenville Memorial, which is an actual heart related hospital. It's a great hospital for people who have heart issues. Well, they had to get permission to drive me from here to Greenville Memorial, so they gave enough time for my wife to take a shower, get cleaned, and get ready to go. Well, we got the approval to take me to Greenville Memorial. Got there, they were actually going to release me with muscular skeletal pain. That's what they were going to diagnose with it, and I need to go see a cardiologist on Monday or whatever. But as the doctor is talking to me, I said, I'm having some more pains. It's getting really intense. Can we get some medication? And he said, yeah, sure. We're going to do some blood work on you. Well, they did blood work the first time, came back inconclusive. They did it again. Now there is an enzyme in your heart. It's called troponin. It lets you know if you're having a heart attack. Well, my troponin levels are high and they were rising. And they said, you're having a heart attack. We're going to keep you here. You're actually going to get a stress test in the morning. At this time, it's going on 2:30 in the morning. I have 3 kids with me and my wife. You know, we're exhausted. They're all exhausted. Well, then I ended up. My wife gets home, takes the girls, puts them to bed, and then she takes a shower. And then I'm texting her, crying. I'm scared because they're going to do a heart cath like first thing in the morning, like immediately. So they did the heart cath. I have the little mark right here still. And they said you had a heart attack. You have 100% blockage in your main artery, 100% in another artery, 90% in your widowmaker artery, and 80% in your other artery. And had we sent you home, you would have died that night. I would have. And count your blessings that you had the heart attack here, because had you gone home and had the heart attack at home, you would not have been here. And I immediately, I'm getting a little emotional thinking, but I immediately broke down. Like, God, this is unbelievable to go through what I'm having to go through. They do ultrasounds on all your arteries just to check the clarity of them. And the nurse, she was on my neck, and I'm like pouring tears because I am so unbelievably scared, thinking I'm not going to see my girls grow up. I'm not going to be with my wife, and I'm pretty like tore up about this, right? Well, I had another heart attack spell that night, the next night at the hospital.
Wow.
My sister was on the phone with my mom at the time, and Jessica started crying. Jessica and I were pretty close. Now, Jessica lives in San Francisco, California, and, you know, I live over here in Easley. Well, that was pretty hard. My mom, the whole ride up here, was thinking, you know, is this it? What can she do to fix it? Well, the next morning, July 10th comes around, and they prepped me for surgery. I'm shaking and I'm crying. Mark, I spent probably 5 minutes holding my wife, telling her I love her and I love my girls more than anything in the world. And when I got back to get ready to go in there, I asked the nurse, I said, will you pray with me? She said, yes, I will. And I said, God, if you let me hear my wife's voice and my kid's voice, I am forever in your arms. I will do all your work, and I will cherish every minute of every day in this earth again. And Mark, you know, they tell you when you have certain major surgeries, you do visit the other side. I visited this place, and I can see it plain as day, Mark. I saw my grandma and my grandpa. My grandma died before I was born. My grandpa died a week after his 80th birthday in 1998. They came to me. When I tell you, Mark, the grass where I was at was like the absolute perfect green. It's so perfect, you can't describe it. The water is the perfect temperature. It's the perfect texture. It's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful there, right? We walked. We were talking. And they said, this is just a challenge. You're okay. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to be in great hands. You're okay. We love you so very much. And you have a lot more to go. And Mark, I still, to this day, I promise you, I still smell me, Mom and Papa hugging me. I still see them hugging me in heaven. And then all of a sudden, it's like a white, real bright white light comes, and then I hear Cassie's voice. Mark, when I tell you I cried, I cried uncontrollably because I got to hear the love of my life's voice again, and God really works in mysterious ways. And the fact that here we are, almost 15 months later, and I still smell my grandparents. I'm shaking right now. Just that's how like emotional it was to me that I still smell them. I saw
Well,
my father-in-law there too, and it was just unbelievable the amount of love you really feel on the other side. The other side, I know what I'm going to see. I know who I'm going to see. God gave me life. I was reborn July 10th, 2023, and since that time, Mark, I love every minute of every day of my life. I cherish it. I follow God's words, and you yourself went. You had a divine moment as well with this surgery. Can you describe to everybody what it was like for your recovery, and then the time that you had for recovery?
well, the interesting thing when I came out of the surgery, the doctors asked me. They said, "Mark, before you broke your neck, did you feel like you had a stiff neck?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, there's a good reason for that. While we were doing the surgery, we basically found out that you have a disease called ankylosing spondylitis, arthritis of the neck and spine." And so they said my case was so advanced that the in my throat muscles, they were kind of becoming calcified. So if you can imagine kind of your neck becoming like bone and you can't hardly move it. And I could always hear it grinding even when I had the stiff neck. So that kind of explained that. So they said we cleaned out about 90% of that calcification. We couldn't clean it all out or you wouldn't have any throat muscles. And we're putting you on a drug that's going to basically stop the progression of it. There's no cure for arthritis, but there's some good drugs out there that can stop the progression. And the reason they wanted to do that is because of all the hardware in my body that if it started progressing, it could cause me to get that forward neck lean to where it could actually pull the hardware out. So that was a blessing because I was walking around with a disease I didn't even know I had until I went through the surgery. But what was unique is there were three doctors that basically were the major surgeons during this operation, and because obviously you can imagine with the length of time, 16 hours going on like this. But the lead surgeon came to me and he said, "Mark, you probably had one of the 5 worst neck injuries we've ever seen that didn't result in death or paralysis or something, pretty catastrophic." And so having said that, it's going to take a while for you to be fully healed. We're thinking probably 18 to 24 months of rehab because you had damaged some ligaments in your shoulders to where your left arm only has about 60% of the strength in your right side. And so I had like this little tiny left arm and the right arm was bigger. So I had to start going through physical therapy. But having said that, they said, we don't want you to get discouraged. Just keep working, keep doing your rehab. And so we're going to check on you like every 6 months just to make sure that your body's accepting the hardware that we put in there and that everything's working the way it should be. So it's going to be a grueling process for 1.5 to 2 years. Just hang in there, keep doing what you need to do, and you'll be fine down the road. And so the actual fall was April 16th of 2015. And so I had the surgery at Emory on June 12th of 2016. And then I went back for my first 6-month checkup on January 24th of, I'm wrong. 2015 was when the fall in surgery was. 2016 was when I went back for my first checkup. And I went actually on my birthday, January 24th. And so when I get to Emory, And keep in mind, I hadn't been able to work during this time because that surgery was so intense that I couldn't lift anything for like 2 weeks, not even a gallon of milk to risk pulling, the hardware or it just not taking to the body. So grueling, and I mean really grueling, intensive rehab. And when I went back that first time, I saw the three surgeons and they had this very bewildered look on their face. And I'm like thinking the worst. I'm like, oh, great. Something's not healing right in there. And they're going to have to go back in there and open it back up and do it. And so they brought me in there and in one of the waiting rooms, and we're sitting and he said, let's actually go in a conference room. We need to talk to you in private about this. So when they say that, then I'm really thinking the worst, that they just can't, tell me, break it to me, in a public waiting room. And so we get in there and the lead doctor, Dr. Michael, he looks at me and he said, Mark, let me ask you a question. Are you a man of faith? And I said, absolutely. I've prayed intensely through this ordeal and worked my tail off in the rehab during this ordeal. And then he looks at me and he said, it's really strange. I'm a believer. This other doctor's a believer. This third doctor that was part of the process, he was not a believer. And so I said, what's up? What's going on? Or are we going to have to go back in there? And he said, no, we told you it would be like 18 to 24 months before you were fully healed. But we've looked at your scans and we have no reasoning for your condition other than divine intervention. You're fully healed after 6 months. You're free to go. And that blew me away. It just absolutely blew me away. To the point where the surgeon that was not a believer, he looked at us and he said, I'm a believer now. How do I do this? And myself and the other two, we basically just huddled up and the non-believer accepted Christ right there. It was a very emotional moment for me and the other two, but it was a very emotional and powerful moment for him, because he basically has saved himself. And then, so as we wrap up, I go out to the car and I just lost it for about 5 or 10 minutes, just cried like a baby. And I prayed to God and I said, I will be your humble, absolute, and complete servant. I will go wherever you send me, no questions asked. Just give me a sign. And so at that point, I get in my car and I'm starting to drive back to Greenville from Atlanta. And I'm probably about 20 miles outside of Atlanta, kind of in the Gwinnett County area. And my phone rings. And I look down and it says Bill DeAndre. And Bill, for those that may know, Bill DeAndre was at Clemson for about 30 years in an administrative role. And I've known Billy D for forever. I was actually a walk-on football player at Clemson back in the 80s. And Billy D was a graduate assistant coach at that time. And he and I have developed a relationship and stayed in touch throughout the years. So so I answered the phone and he said, what's going on? And I said, I just got the most amazing news. And he said, what's that? And I said, well, I went for my first checkup after my neck surgery, and the doctors told me it'd take me, 18 to 24 months to be fully healed. And they just cleared me. They said I'm fully healed after 6 months. And I'm just so overwhelmed that I'm just shaking, and I can't even really calm down that much. And I'm actually shaking now just thinking about it. So we got to talking, and he's like, that's unbelievable, amazing story. And so as we finish that up, I started asked him, I said, well, what's up with you? Because usually if he was calling me, he was needing something like tickets to an induction ceremony, because at that time I worked at the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. And so he said, well, I want you to come to work for me. And I said, okay, I'm there. And he starts laughing. He goes, well, wait a minute, I don't even have the job yet. And I said, well, you work that out and you just call me whenever you get it and just let me know and I'll be there. And he goes, well, how do you know? I said, well, I had a conversation with God about 10 minutes ago. And I told him that I would go wherever he led me to go. And I don't feel it like it's coincidental that 10 minutes later, you're calling me, telling me you need my help. And so about a month after that conversation, I actually started to work at Anderson University March 1st of 2016. And I was the first development officer they've ever had for athletics there. Now they've had other fundraisers and development staff for the academic side and for the school at large, but they've never had one just dedicated to athletics. And they needed some help with their facilities and things. Just needed some guidance and some ways to get some money coming into the school. And so I started there. We kind of reconstituted their annual fund and got it to where it needs to be now. We've worked on facilities. We've gotten the corporate piece, in a good spot now. So, really, the good Lord just led me there. It's awesome to be at a place that prays over you every day. And we're just so blessed. Since I started there back in 2016, there was about 2,200 students that went to school at Anderson, and now there's over 4,700 students. So the actual school has more than doubled in the time that I've been there.
Oh my, Mark, that's amazing that you overcame such adversity. God really does work in mysterious ways. And, he loves us unconditionally. And for us, you and me, to have accepted him because we had such traumatic experiences happen in our lives. And God has graced us with continued love and life. That's amazing. I mean,
the one thing that I can say prior to that, it's not that I didn't have faith back then. I mean, I believed in God all along. It's just that, it was kind of one of those things that was like maybe second, third, or fourth on the priority list. And having understood that most times when things in my life that got off the rails, it was when I got kind of prideful and I tried to do it myself. And then going through that, I realized that, there's a certain point where you can be the biggest control freak on the planet, but there's something bigger than you that's going to bring you to your knees. And there's nothing that you can do. You do not have any kind of power to overcome that. The only thing that can overcome that is God's grace. And I learned that lesson from the standpoint of it humbled me. Sometimes when you get prideful, you need to be humbled to get put in the right mindset for what the plan is that God has for your life. And I, at that point, I accepted not what my plan was for my life and thinking about what I wanted to do. It was total submission, just total release, and pretty much going all in on my faith first and letting God work in my life to where, what He was trying to show me was for me to give it up to Him and just follow Him and listen to Him and talk to Him daily and pray to Him and worship Him. Because at the end of the day, it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's about your relationship with Christ. And then if you just submit to that, a lot of the questions that I had in my life just went away. A lot of the things that I used to have fear over just went away. I don't have fear over much of anything anymore. And if I do feel a feeling of fear coming on, at that point, that's when I give it up to God and just try to get some guidance and discernment from getting in with Him and personally trying to relate to Him every day.
absolutely. And I'm kind of like you a little bit. I always believed in God, but I took advantage of it. that, it was always just there. And, it took, realization that I have no control over this. The only
Mhm.
person who has full control over me and everything that my life is about is God. And that moment when, you surrender and you say, I'm here for, I will listen and do whatever I'm supposed to do. No questions asked. It's you who are telling me what to do. It really resonates like hard with you. And, you had the privilege of meeting my wife. You've had the privilege of meeting my girls, and your wife is even an testament as well, that when we hear our loved ones for the first time after such a traumatic surgery or traumatic event, it hits home that, God, he listens. He knows what you can and cannot handle, and you have to go through what he wants you to go through in order to be a better person.
Mhm.
And I can tell you that since this has happened to me, I am a way better person. I treat everybody with respect. I am positive. Because at the end of the day, it really comes down to this: what is the point of being negative? Except it's only going to hurt you, and hurt everybody around you. They're not going to want to be around somebody who is negative, who is hateful, who has just anger built up inside. And like I said, the fact that here we are going on 15 months later, I can smell my grandparents, who I never got to meet my grandma, but I can smell her. I can smell my grandpa, who died in 98. And it's 2023 at this time, going in 24. I can still smell. It's amazing.
You know,
A true
and
testament.
and one thing that's unique in going on this journey is that from that point forward, that's when things became a lot clearer to me. Life became a lot simpler, a lot easier for me, and the way it just kind of fell into it was like, so at this point now I'm starting to work at Anderson University, and which is a faith-based school, and I've worked for numerous companies throughout the years in various roles, sales positions, leadership positions, that kind of thing. And even in those roles, like as you grow through your career, you're kind of chasing money, or the world's concept of successful is money and status and that kind of thing. And some of those jobs I made good money at. But when I came to Anderson, it wasn't about the money because they didn't even have the job appropriated at that time. They had to like find something, and it wasn't much starting out. I promise you. But the thing about it was I felt a sense of calm of he led me there. He's going to provide for me. And so, like you said, sometimes you pray and you kind of pray for the wrong things. You pray for something that you want, not something that's for his glory. And so, having said that, the best thing that ever happened to me was breaking my neck, reconnecting with my Savior, and just following what I felt like was the direction that He was leading me. And so now I'm at Anderson University. It's a faith-based place. It's neat to be at a place that embraces prayer and the Holy Spirit around you, and being surrounded by believers like that. And so he has not only blessed me, but he's blessed this journey that I've been on at Anderson for the last 8 years, and that we've just grown like crazy. I mean, and it's nothing that I'm doing. I call it just the P square method. You pray first, and then you plow. You get to work. And so, and I just listen daily to what I feel like he's leading me to do. And he has blessed that university, the growth that we're having there. Even when we went through COVID several years back, we were the only institution in South Carolina that had in-person freshman orientation. And the parents came up to us and they thanked us for giving their kids a sense of normalcy. because everybody else was going virtual on everything. They were canceling orientations. We actually, I mean, obviously you had to stay masked up and sign a waiver, and we took their temp, do all the things that we had to do back during the pandemic. But we realized that all of this, the pandemic, that God's bigger than all of this. I mean, he spoke this planet into existence.
Yep.
This planet that we're on is his property. We are his property. And so that if we just trust him, that no matter what we go through, it's going to be fine. And so having said that, being there has been such a blessing for me. And yeah, there's probably other jobs that I could have made more money at, but I am at complete peace with how the Lord led me there. I am at complete peace at being there. Um, I I mean, I love the team that I work with, the people that I work with. I love being around the coaches that I work with. The kids at Anderson are phenomenal. Just some of the nicest kids ever. Very hospitable. Always speaking to you when you're walking around campus. It's just a joy to be there. And now, as we look on we've accomplished over the last 8 years, and I say we, I mean he, it's nothing that we've done, but our institution has grown so much. We've added sports. This year, football came online, and we're just so blessed with the way that the good Lord is working on our campus. I'm so blessed. There's not a day. One thing that going through this humbled me to do is, that a lot of times when things aren't going right, we drop to our knees and we pray for him to help us. I drop to my knees and pray every day when it's a great day, for thanking him for blessing me and giving me the life that I have now, simply because of him. Simply
Amen to
because of
that
him.
one.
So I mean, and after being there for a while, the good Lord blessed me by putting the perfect woman in my life for me. She has grown in her faith since we've been married, and we put God front and center in all that we do. And even before our work, even before us, I mean, he comes first. So in the mornings, we didn't do it this morning because the idiot husband here overslept. But anyway, most mornings before we go to work, we do it. We do a devotion. We do prayers before we go to bed. When I'm at work, I'll open up my Bible and spend some time with God and do a daily devotional, that kind of thing. But that's where it starts as far as your priority. You've got to put him first in everything. And if you do that, and I was hesitant too, but if you do that, you'll be blessed beyond measure. But you can't, halfway jump in. You got to be all in.
Yes, you do. You really do. And, you do have those people. Look, I know there are people here that are watching right now that are going to say, God, give me X, Y, Z in dollars. Let's rewind a little.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Nope.
You gotta thank him for what he has given you.
Yep.
And it's
The first thing you gotta say is he gave you air. He's giving you air. He's giving you the ability to think, to move, to act. You are, you're his pride and his joy. He has created a perfect image the way you are, the way he wants you to be. And if you accept it, look, we're not trying to sit here and say that, that there are things that, you can control and there's things you can't, because you really can't control anything.
Sure.
Everything that you do is in his way. It's his eyes. He wants you to do these things. And unfortunately, you have to fall down to get back up.
Yep.
And, we're both testaments of it. I took advantage of a lot of the things that I was doing in my life. I was not fully committed to God. Yes, when I got divorced in 13, I actually got baptized. I was baptized Presbyterian. I had never been baptized before. I got baptized. I joined a church. I'm a member of a church still to this day. My girls have all been baptized. Our youngest, Aspen, she is scheduled to be baptized at the same church. My wife became a member of the church. We are accepted. the amount of love that we have been given through the church, through God, through everything, it's amazing, and it really is. You really do have to get into use and to just say thank you. That's all you have to say. Is He knows you're humble and you're His servant, but if you say thank you, God, I will continue in your eyes. The
And
sky's the limit.
yeah, and I will say this. Growing up in the church, having a father who was a pastor, I got baptized when I was like 12 years old, and really didn't live it after that. And then when I reclaimed my faith, they said, "Well, you've already been baptized." And I was like, "No, I've done enough bad stuff. I need to be washed again, totally, total wash it away." From that standpoint, because I just done some things that I wasn't proud of, and not lived my life the way that it should be lived. And so having gone through that, now it's a daily thing. I used to look at church maybe when I wasn't committed. Well, I'll go on Sunday. Well, that was giving God one day out of 7. And to be all in, you've got to be with Him every day. We're kind of talking about that at our church right now. And we had a small group last night. We were talking about, it's called your daily bread. Because like when you have a meal the previous day, you're hungry the next. You can't keep going without it. So you need that spiritual nourishment, just like you need physical nourishment. And so if you commit to doing that on a daily basis, and just spending 5-10 minutes with Christ in prayer or in the Word or whatever, just it can be as simple as like when you're driving to work, just talking to Him, cutting the radio off and talking to Him about your day, and give me some signs or some wisdom or discernment about how do I go about my day? How can I be impactful for your purposes and not mine?
Absolutely. And look, guys, we're not saying you're not going to get anything in life, because you will, but you have to give yourself first to God, Jesus Christ, because you will be rewarded in His eyes. Not, oh, please give me $5 million or this. No, riches, you can't look at monetary things as that is your way of life. No, you have to look at it as the simplest things around you. You are the way your life, like you are going, is the way He wants you to live the life. And if some of the happiest people in the world actually are the poorest people. Why? Because they accept God in their life and they know that they are fine. And it really is true. Money does not bring happiness, folks. If you're going to sit here and say you have to get it, you're not.
I tell my wife all the time, like if we're maybe spending money on something that's too expensive, or if we lose something or something happens, it's just stuff. It's just stuff. I mean, it's irrelevant. At the end of the day, when you look back on your life, half the stuff you bought you don't even use anymore anyway, and you can't take it with you. And you look around what's going on in the world. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of throughout the world, a lot of just bad things. And so there's really two choices, and they're not Democrat or Republican. The choices are there's good and there's evil, and you pray to God to bring you through that, and you trust in Him to lead you through that. And if you have that kind of relationship, then you don't fear that. You know where you are in His standing. It's like, my wife kids with me, because a lot of times, she'll tell somebody, she goes, Mark really doesn't care what people think of him. And I don't. I care what he thinks of me. I care what she thinks of me. I care what my family thinks of me, and those that I'm close to think of me. But they know they know who I am. I've had other friends that when I see them now, they're like, "You're not even the same person you were 15 years ago. I don't even recognize that person anymore," kind of thing. And I said, "Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment, because because even though I've gotten older, where I'm at now is a lot better than where I was 15 years ago."
Absolutely. And I actually told somebody today at my, because I go to physical therapy. I remember my knee surgery, which I'll give you an update about that in just a second. Well, I told one of my people at the therapist today, I said, I'm a lot healthier now than when I was before the heart attack. And what I mean by healthy is yes, everything's ticking fine, right? Now I'm a lot healthier here. I'm a lot clearer because I was reborn again. I was given new life. And, I'm going to take advantage of what God has given me. And I'm not going to be, spiteful. I'm not going to be hateful. I'm not going to be angry because
Life's
that's
too
not what
short.
God's exactly.
Life,
That's not
life,
his purpose.
yeah, life's too short to go through it with that kind of attitude. And when I came through everything that I've been through, my favorite verse is Romans 12:2. And it encapsulates everything that I've gone through with not conforming to this world, but striving for him. And in the end, if I do that, then he'll look at me and what I've done and view it as good and pleasing and perfect. So that is my favorite verse because I can relate to it from where I've been, where I was, the journey that I've walked, have been on, and to where I am now. And I'm, I may not be in the world's eyes a wealthy individual, but in my eyes, I'm the most blessed and richest man in the world simply because of what I've gone through to be where I'm
And
at.
you're lived to tell your story. And that's like and worth all the more money in the world.
I mean, I
We
actually
were granted
I
things.
shouldn't be here, or at the least I shouldn't be
Mhm.
walking. And everything I've come through. I mean, I live a normal. I mean, even with the metal. I mean, I've got more metal in my neck than I've got in my golf bag. But I play golf. I mean, yeah, and I'm on medications. I'm a diabetic. I've got arthritis, and I have to take different medications, and I have to do therapies and stuff like that. And but I live a blessed, full life.
Yep.
Wouldn't I tell people, I've really going through what I went through really sharpened my faith. It's not that I didn't have faith; I had it, but it wasn't where it needed to be. And so it was like sharpened and refined from from going through that. And I wouldn't recommend people go break their neck to like find
No.
Christ and sharpen their faith because it was very painful. but, uh, but it's looking back on it, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life was breaking my neck.
I'm right there with it. Best thing that's ever happened to me was to have the Widowmaker. Look, we're not telling you guys go look for, to most dangerous event in your life to reinvigorate yourself. No. Take 5 minutes of your day just to say thank you, God. If you do that, you will be amazed how much he will reward you. You don't have to we're not talking monetary, we're not talking stuff. No, what he rewards you with, he gives you the air, he gives you life, he gives you water, he gives you bread. You are here. If you take away anything out of this, you're here because you are on his eyes the way he wants you to be. Cherish every minute of every point you have in life because you're not promised anything. You are promised to take each breath. That's all you're promised. Every breath you have, that's your promise. That I took another breath. I took another breath. That's all you're promised. You're not going to take any of this stuff with you when you go over there. And if you take 5 minutes out of your day just to say, God, thank you. I love you and I will be your servant. You will be richer than riches can be. And we're not talking monetary. We're talking through God's love.
And Brandon, I will go back to like when they gave me the news that I was fully healed. The neat thing was seeing someone come to Christ that didn't even believe in God
Mm-hmm.
right before my eyes, simply because of what had happened to me, and he had no reasoning for it because he
Yep.
didn't. I mean, and it shocked him, and he's like, I'm not understanding what I'm seeing right now. I don't understand how this is working. But there's no reasoning for it. But how do
Yeah, exactly.
I'm believing it because I'm seeing it with my own eyes now. So, yeah, it's,
You hear people say to you all the time, why me? Why me? How about this? Why not you? Why not you? Because God knows what your journey is. He knows. This is how I see it too. We all have a path. We all have a journey. The way we do things is part of that journey. Who we meet in our lives, they're supposed to be in our lives for that certain period of time, a long extended period, forever. It's just that part of the journey. We all have that. I've been blessed to have great people come in my life. Yes, they have gone on their way, but they've ventured into their own journey, their own purpose, and I'm proud of them. We had a good couple good friends here who used to be part of this show. They've gone and done great things with themselves, and we're proud of them for that because they're going the path that they are supposed to go. We all have journeys. Look, folks, we all do. Who is in your life is supposed to be in your life for that period of time, and they may be in your life forever. Look, I was married before. I was married for going on 10 years, and there was a reason why my ex-wife and I did become exes, because it was only supposed to be a period of time to experience that portion of my life, right? And then I met Cassie, and look, Mark, I'm gonna tell you, you probably are in the same boat. It's like you knew right away that was who you were supposed to be with rest of your life. Like when I met Cassie, I didn't want to date again, but when I met Cassie, it was I knew everything about her, and I didn't know her, but I loved her from the moment I met her. 3 months into it, we got engaged. We waited a year to get married, and it's like I couldn't see my life without her, and
Mhm.
everything that it's
I,
like a
I'm the same.
glowing aurora,
I'm the same way with Carolyn. She's actually my second wife. I got divorced from my first wife back in 2000, and at that time, I pretty much committed that I would never ever get married again.
Mhm.
I didn't want any part of it. And then it's funny how God puts people in your lives at certain times. And even though I was, still, I can't believe I'm getting married again. But then again, when I was around her and the way she made me feel, it felt like God had sent a guardian angel into
Yep.
my life to take care of me, because sometimes I wasn't taking care of myself. And she's my best friend. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And she
She's your
keeps me,
world, right?
she's the most beautiful woman in the world to me. She keeps me accountable. We keep each other accountable, and we walk with God together. We go to church every week. She's in the choir. I volunteer with some things, but no, when God put her into my life, I just knew. I just knew.
It's like this certain aurora, like it's hard to
Oh
explain, like it's a glow that
yeah,
you only you can see.
it pretty much shot my theory out of the water, because I mean I was like, I'm never getting married again. And
Yep.
I'm eating my words now, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Breaking my neck and meeting my wife is the two best things. On this planet that's happened to me outside of my relationship with Christ. That will always be number one, as it should be.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's just something about the way he works. He works in phenomenal ways. I didn't think I was ever gonna get back with anybody. I didn't know if I ever wanted to date again, that kind of stuff. And then my nephews, they go, "Unc, you deserve to be happy." And I was like, "Well, I appreciate it." They said, "But so we put you on Match.com." And I was like, "Wait, what?" They took my pictures off of my social media and they put me on Match. And I wasn't really feeling the game. And then I get a message from Cassie one day, and it's like, I can't continue any more of this. I have to. This is who I'm supposed to be with, and we've been together um, for going on 10 years. Been married for 9, and it's the best time I've ever had. She's blessed with me with 4 beautiful girls. We have gone through a lot, yes, but we are here. We accept everything we have. We may not be rich. My wife has a teacher. Who cares? you know, what we're rich with each other is with each other and our girls and our faith and the fact that every day we get up, it's a thank you, God, for letting me wake up,
Amen.
giving me the opportunity to take a breath, to drink some water, eat some bread, and that will forever sit with me that, I was, like I said, I was reborn July 10th, 2023. You were reborn the day you had your surgery. God has given us everything, and we cannot be any more grateful than what he has given us. And, folks, if you take away from this video and this episode today is God works in mysterious ways, and it's very real. And, Mark is a living testament of it. I'm a living testament. Everybody who is watching, all 105 of you watching right now, I can tell you this. You matter, and the way you handle yourself is God's way. You did phenomenal things in life, and continue. Mark, I've had so much fun having you on, and I needed to show you this. I don't know if you can see behind me. Do you see the helmet and the pom-poms?
Go Trojans.
That's right. We have it. We have him there, and
Coach Lamb got his first South Atlantic Conference and road victory this past weekend. So we're back home. We're back home this week against Emory and Henry. So we'd love for people to come out and support the team.
Absolutely, and I understand, if I'm not mistaken, it's a pink out, which is represented for breast cancer awareness, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we love to support that cause. We do a lot of initiatives with Sparrow Financial with regards to breast cancer, and so we would encourage people to wear their black and gold or their pink.
Absolutely, guys, check them out. I promise you, it is actually a lot of fun. And when Mark sat there earlier and said that all the students talk to you, oh, that is a 200% fact. Because when we were there, everybody, and I mean, it was everybody, they opened their arms and they embrace you. God tells you, love thy neighbor. They really do mean it. They're phenomenal people. Anderson University not only gets an A+, they get an A++ by everybody in my family, because we love what you guys do. We are 1,000% supporters. My daughters, Addison, my oldest, who is the sports girl in the family, she actually asked me earlier, Daddy, did Anderson win their football game? She goes, yes.
Yeah, so we did.
That makes me, proud to cheer on Anderson University. And I want to ask you this, Mark, real quick, is what, how did the football, the program, how did it get started? Because, not anybody can just wake up and say, let's just throw a football team together kind of stuff. You really have to go through a lot of,
yeah, you really do. But we had a philanthropic donor that had a lot of he liked Anderson. He liked what, I mean, he had grandkids that went to school there, and so our president at that time had engaged him about a gift for athletics, and he was like, I'm not going to give to athletics, but I'll give you some money if you start a football team. And the president initially rebuffed that, and he said, well, if you give me this, then I'll start it. And the guy didn't blink, and he said, well, here's $3 million, but the school needs to match my $3 million. And that's kind of where it started back in 2019. So it's been a journey. We didn't have a stadium at that point that was capable of hosting football. So we had to, repurpose our soccer and lacrosse stadium for football, and added a bunch of seats, and had to build a football facility for the team, and some other facilities. So we've invested over $25 million in football over the last 5 years. And it's been stressful at times having to help raise that money. But at the same time, it's been a joy. Football has helped us grow the enrollment of the campus. It's certainly grown the excitement level, not only of our campus, but of the city of Anderson and Anderson County. A lot of people are taking note of what we're doing. We're in the South Atlantic Conference, which is D2. That's the perfect footprint for us. We will never, I say never, but our plan is to never go Division I and have to deal with those headaches. Division II we love that model. And there's great institutions in our league. It's a highly competitive league. There's some great football played in that league. There's actually some kids that have played at schools in this league that are in the NFL now. So, so it's highly competitive. Coach Lamb does a phenomenal job with his kids, and Dr. Bert Epting does a phenomenal job with all of our sports. We got 21 sports now, it's just it's great seeing how our department and how our institution's grown, and really the excitement that's around it from the alumni base, the city, the county, upstate South Carolina. We've been embraced, ever since I've been there. The good Lord's blessed us, and people have embraced us.
And we hear you guys mention on Whistle 100. Beth and Bill, they talk about, hey, Anderson football playing this weekend. That's really cool to hear that too, and we get excited about it. And I got a little funny story to tell you. My neighborhood is it's actually two counties. So, and it's really weird how they do it. When we first got here, our backyard, half of it was Anderson County and half of it was Pickens County. They've redistricted it now.
So,
it goes
who do
down
you
the
pay
road.
taxes to?
We pay to Pickens, but the 3 houses down, they're Anderson County. So it's really
funny.
weird how they do that. But look, folks, there's 105 people here right now. I know you all are watching. Go support Anderson University. They're a great institution. Yes, it's not your big name school. It's not your Clemson's. It's not your South Carolinas. Heck, it's not even your Furmans. It's not Georgia Tech, whatever's. Anderson is a good home environment. They make you feel welcome in every moment.
But I will add one thing.
Yeah.
No, we're not Clemson or South Carolina, but we are the largest private school in the state of South Carolina. Our enrollment's actually bigger than Furman. It's bigger than Wofford. It's bigger than Charleston Southern. So we're a D2 school, but we have the fastest and largest enrollment in the state.
Absolutely. And look, guys, I promise you're going to have a lot of fun going there. They're only going to get better. It's only going to get more fun, more exciting, more electric. Guys, it's year 1 of football, and it's year 1 of 1,000 more to go. It's going to be great. Mark, I really do appreciate the time for you coming on, telling us your amazing story. Matt, he's listening. He's actually texting me. So he said that was actually a really emotional story. And, I look forward. I asked Cassie if we're going to be able to make it this Saturday. He said, hopefully. So I definitely, and you'll get to see me walk. Yes, walk. I'm no longer on those dreaded crutches. Oh, it's a great thing not to be on there. I still have knee pain, however.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
that's all right. If he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it.
That's right. And I will let you know soon. I'll let you probably next day or two that we're coming, and we do. I'm looking forward to getting the hug from you because you guys are. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Please keep doing what you guys are doing. Just know that everybody at the Sportz Nutz here, we are 200% behind you guys and Anderson University. You have a place in our hearts. We really appreciate it, Mark.
Well, God bless and go Trojans.
That's right. Go Trojans. And we'll talk to you again soon. Okay, sir?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Guys, what a phenomenal story. I mean, do you see, when we tell you these things, we promise you there are some really amazing things that happen in this world. And Mark is a living testament of it. He even told you right then and there, he shouldn't be here. He's here because God brought him to his knees. He got to his knees. He is there. He cares about it. He's a great guy. Look, guys, we've got so many good things lined up for you. And I know Matt, he's here. He sees everything. Look, I'll even show you guys. See, he's right there. See, all right, here we go. See, he's right there. He's actually listening. He is at a function with his work. And, hey, it's okay. It's part of life. It really is, guys. It's work. Come on now. But look, Matt and I were beyond excited for what is coming. All right, so let's give you guys a quick. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let me wait. Look at that beautiful face.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful face.
What's up, guys? I'm here, man. Sorry I couldn't join you guys, but I've definitely been listening. So,
Matt, what did you think of that story?
Oh man, that story was oof, that was crazy, man. As far as the whole accident, what happened, and how he overcame and how he's at peace with it. Great story.
I told you it was one of those stories that really will change your mind about if divine intervention is real. I mean, he has overcome basically death. He has survived death. He stared death right in the face, and he said, "You know what? Hold my beer. I'm here." And he overcame, and it really is a testament to what we can't understand.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, like I said, Matt and I have some really cool news to share with you. Um, Thursday, yes, this Thursday, we have a college football legend coming on the show. And guys, I'm telling you now, he knows 100% that I'm mentioning him because he's actually texted me tonight. So he was a University of Hawaii great wide receiver, Ashley Lely. He was drafted number 19th in the 2002 draft by the Denver Broncos. He played for the Atlanta Falcons. He played for the San Francisco 49ers. He's played for the Oakland Raiders. He is now permanently resides in the state of Hawaii. He has got a lot of things he's going to tell you guys. You're going to want to hear. Got some really cool things to learn about him. Then also, guys, Friday. Yes, this is breaking news. The Sportz Nutz will have 3 episodes this week. We will have tonight, obviously. We have Thursday. Yes, it's a special episode Thursday with Ashley Lely. The Friday episode is a gentleman who actually was featured on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. It was a really cool story. He quit his corporate world job to do his calling, and his calling was to do what he did with his family. Back his grandpa and his dad kind of thing, which was dealing with baseball gloves, repairing gloves, all ages. Yes, Chase, yes, rise up indeed. Hey, our good man Chase Cravey, y'all. This guy right here, his brother, Philip, which is his brother's name, my cousin Cody. They even have a new guy on their show. Check them out. Dirty Fanatics United. And I mean, legendary Atlanta Falcons talk. Dude, guys, they had Todd McClure on there. Come on, Todd McClure of the Dirty Birds himself. They've had Mohamed Sanu. God, Sanu is like, oh, you know how cool it would be to have like them come on our show. Hey, Chase, share the wealth of getting some Dirty Birds to come on our team. But guys, this gentleman Jim with it is D&J Glove Repair. They are based up in the north. I'm not going to go too much into it because I want you to hear his story. Phenomenal individual. Since NBC aired his episode, he's been inundated with requests, and guys, he graced us and said, "I would absolutely love to come on your show," and I love it. And guys, it's so exciting what's going on. Look, Chase, always down to be a special dude. Guys, Chase is the man. Guys, they are phenomenal. I promise you. My cousin Cody. Look, Chase, I hate to break it to you, but he's gonna be a great color analyst. So CBS better be paying attention because that's where Cody, his calling is as color analyst. He's a great person for that. Philip, God, he has got great inside information for. I don't know how you guys get this information the way you do, but Philip is phenomenal with it. Chase is great with it too. Chase, remind me your new host name so I can give him a special shout out too. I really want to do that. So guys, also let's look at next week. Yes, we still have the lovely events of the week of the 21st. Look, his name is Robert. Robert, yes. Please go and check them out. Dirty Fanatics United. YouTube, they are Dirty Fanatics United. Hashtag DFU. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on TikTok. They're on YouTube. They're on every platform you could imagine. And they got good stuff. Check them out today. All right, guys. The 22nd of October, we have the general manager, Pete, from the newly acquainted, and I say newly acquainted because they moved from Mississippi to Columbus, the Columbus Clingstone's general manager of the AA affiliate Atlanta Braves. The general manager is coming to join on our show. Then also on Friday, we have Rich Miano of the University of Hawaii. He has great content. We're going to bring him on. Cannot wait, guys. And Chase, I want you to also make sure to tune on to this episode too. October 29th, one of the most inspirational individuals you will ever meet. And there's a reason why I said this, because he is a former football coach for the University of Hawaii. He cannot walk and he cannot talk, but he is intellectually advanced. He's a great person. He's a great friend of mine. Brian and I, his name is Brian Kajiyama. We talk all the time. He is going to join our show. He will be talking through a computer generated voice through his keyboard because he has cerebral palsy, but he is a great person, guys. And you're going to want to hear it. Chase, promise you're going to love hearing his information. Now, we do not have an episode on Halloween. For obvious reasons, it is Halloween. We are not going to have an episode on Friday the 1st either, because that is my daughter's birthday. I mean, I'm not going to say never because it is Holden's birthday, but Matt and I may have a little episode. Just stay tuned for that one. We'll keep you updated on that. Guys, we're already working on booking our November guests. Look, if you guys can do us a favor, go on to Twitter, okay? I know I mentioned this earlier. Follow our Twitter page. Get us to 500. If you can help get us to the 500 mark, you are going to get a Sportz Nutz prize pack. And I want to tell you right now, the prize pack includes 2 tickets to a college football game. It might be a playoff game. It might just be a bowl game, but it's coming. I promise you. You're going to get shirt, t-shirt, shirt, hat, a Sportz Nutz bag. You're going to get a keychain. You're going to get just stay tuned. But I promise you, there's probably going to be a 2 tickets for college football game in there. Like, it could be a playoff game or it could be a bowl game. It's going to happen. I promise you. Get us to 500. Look, guys, go to our YouTube channel at the Sportz Nutz 176. Help us grow. Like I said, if you and 4 other people, you can get to subscribe to our channel. You're entered in, and I'm actually going to go ahead and up it to a $30 gas gift card. And it's not a cheesy gift card. It's an actual good gas gift card. You will get a Sportz Nutz prize pack plus that $30 gas gift card. We cannot wait to give it to you. Look, guys, we need your help. Let's get it going. At the Sportz Nutz 176. Just remember, guys, we are broadcast. Matt is actually working on getting us a TikTok page that will be coming soon. Just stay tuned for that one. We will have it going really soon, actually. And we'll include those and going live on that. With that being said, guys, for our good friend, Mr. Mark Vaughn of Anderson University, who we dearly appreciate, for our good friend Matt Thomas, I am Brandon saying, peace up, A-Town down. Why? Because we're AT aliens. We're fans of the greatest city there ever was in the state of Georgia, Atlanta, formerly known as Terminus. So with that being said, guys, we want you guys to have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for letting us bend your ear for this hour and 18 minutes. We love you guys. We will see you soon. Remember, Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, which will be 1:30 Hawaiian time. Our good friend Ashley Lally will be on here. We look forward to having his story shared with you. Until then, you have a wonderful night. Spend some time with your family. Enjoy every minute that you have. And you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. So good night, and we love you, and bye. Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's big. He had a career